This is a story of heartbreak, redemption, and ultimate glory. Welcome to the Six Invitational Boston, the World Championship of Siege. Dozens of teams fight all year just to qualify. But now, in the grand finals, only two remain. On one side, there's Faze clan. Last year's runners-up, Faze came one round away from being world champions, but were denied by their Brazilian brethren, W7M. Faze have been a top team for what feels like forever, having only been eliminated by the eventual winners in every tournament since 2023. They've always been contenders, but they've never won the crown, and they're looking to make a statement. Despite an early setback sending them down to the lower bracket, Faze aren't the type of team to just give up. They're an experienced roster who know how it feels to play on the precipice. And off the back of Vita King's calm leadership and some insane play out of Handy, they managed to pull off the impossible.
This two has come together. You're against the shield. Oh!
Shepard can stick this. The swing is good though from Handy.
He's cleaning up things working. A triple for Dream.
The fire, but the swing from JB. Traded back by KDS.
Having survived the gauntlet, Faze find themselves in the grand final. But despite their dominance through the lower bracket, there's still one team who stands in their way. Opposite them is the ever-excellent BDS. They've also had a year of disappointment, finishing in second place at every major of 2024. Time after time, they've come so close, never quite managing to get it over the line. And with rumors circulating of BDS stepping away from the team, the players are hoping to capture magic one last time. And so far, it seems like it's working. BDS have been having an unreal tournament, dismantling top teams and making their way into the grand finals undefeated through the upper bracket. With star players like Yuzis and Shaiko and the unrivaled leadership of Likefak, the team is ready to send a message that they are now the best team in Siege. Both teams have had years filled with disappointment, always the bridesmaids and never the bride. For both teams, now is their chance to prove themselves, to achieve greatness and become world champions. They've both come so close, but have never quite managed to overcome that final hurdle. Now, one of these two teams is guaranteed to emerge victorious. Will it be Faze Clan, earning their redemption after coming so close last year? Or will BDS break the curse of second place and finally take their spot on top? This is Faze versus BDS. After three unbelievably close maps, Faze lead the series 2-1, needing one more map to put the game away. The teams go to Clubhouse, one of the most fundamentally focused maps in all of Siege. Rounds often play out via a series of steps, with the attacks slowly ramping up the pressure before an explosive execute late round. For their first defense, BDS are starting basement, running a 2-2-1 roam extension. This involves having players on all three floors, aiming to fight for map control no matter how Faze decide to approach. The thing is, this is actually more of a bait setup out of BDS. Their idea is to soft roam at the top of staircases, using their mute jammers to make droning difficult for Faze. This makes it impossible for Faze to get a good idea of how many players the extension actually entails, slowing their entry and allowing BDS to fall back to site, where their powerful anchor operators can shut down and execute. The round starts, and Faze immediately find themselves a gap in the setup. Vita manages to sneak a drone inside bathroom, which tells him Strip is completely free. He rapidly takes the space while Souls pinches up kitchen hall, forcing Solotov to fall off. But look at this. Solotov has help from both above and below. And as Faze push forward, Yuzis pushes up to play for a trade, while Likefak pushes down for a pinch.
Famously called the SSG drone, popularized on this map. Leaning into Mute, leaning in towards Mozzie and Vigil to cause a bit of bother. Surely they have the understanding here that that was a Nook coming in and firing a few shots, and Sol's maybe kicking himself a bit there, that nothing was to come. A C4 comes out, tickles in the tiniest bit. Solotov falls yet again. His entry record this series is looking poor. Likefak also punished like I said to him.
Vita King pushes down main at an aggressive tempo BDS don't expect. He finds a first, then a second before anyone can react. Sensing the need to make a play, Efak speeds up his flank, but Souls reads it perfectly. He catches Efak off guard, securing a major advantage for his team. Not ones to waste any time, the rest of Faze leap into action. With all the chaos going down towards main, Handy and KDS have a gap inside blue. They get ready to fill the space as Vita and Souls crunch down main, aiming to overwhelm the defenders before they can try and find a gap in the attack.
Like I said, Tim, they will punish these roamers, and BDS already are down to just 2 players.
This is a terrible start for the EU side as they continue to be bullied by the shield. Shaiko finds one, but can do no more as Souls and KDS pick up the last 2.
A fast-paced first round shows us just how strong Faze's style can sometimes be. By finding and exploiting defensive gaps and instantly reacting as a team to openings which are found, BDS may be in for a tough time. They decide to try their fortunes on Gym and Bedroom, hoping this defense may stand up better to the attacking onslaught. This site, on the top floor of the map, focuses around these windows, which provide angles directly inside that attackers can access from outside the map. These positions are super powerful, but are easily countered by the CC window, which defenders can peek at opportune moments to catch attackers off guard. To this end, BDS play a heavy extension towards CC, fighting for the space to force Faze to clear them before they can set up for their attack. For their part, Faze oblige, sending several attackers to engage the extension. Cyber opens the CC wall, forcing the defenders to back up, while Vita and KDS take Garage to prepare to take CC. Vita spots the clash, recognizing there's a major extension towards Cash. He calls it out to his team, and they start immediately formulating a plan to deal with it. Faze want to make BDS fall back in order to take the space. But with the cache walls reinforced, they're forced to either push through the choke point green door or up the hallway towards red. Both of these options kinda suck. Attackers walking green door will be in a predictable position as they push through, while the defender they're peeking can peek from any angle around green box. And top red means walking up a hallway towards a clash, whose ability slows attacker movement to a crawl, allowing the cache player to swing off Clash's info and pick up an easy kill. So what can Faze do? Well, as it turns out, they've brought along the exact tools that they'll need. Handy uses the Hibana to open up the cache wall, denying the mute jammers with an EMP tossed by Vita King. This forces EFAC back, directly into the angle being held by an attacker through the construction window. Or at least it would, if not for one tiny detail. Shaiko is playing Azami, and he's set up a Kiba on the pallets in front of the window. This gives EFAC some cover as he runs away, allowing him to stay up and play for the site late round. This is genius out of BDS, and allows them to keep numbers even, which they'll need as Faze prepare for the next phase of their attack. They open up the reinforcement con, further forcing the BDS players back into bedroom. But look at this, Faze have a player on the middle master window. Surely this time they'll be able to catch someone off.
Play on the gym and bedroom windows. Now they have that as an option. One thing to note, Tim, they have not opened Jacuzzi Breach. There is no late round backstab that BDS need to worry about yet, and that clash is still standing.
The problem that BDS have here is that they're being pushed deeper and deeper. They're now in a smaller and smaller group. They're limited pretty much to Lodge's shower and the Jacuzzi Breach corridor. That's all they've got to work with. Faze, going to be difficult for them to create any space as Shaiko gets the explosive. Bursts into construction and takes down Handy.
Shaiko tosses out another Kiba, blocking the window and keeping his teammate alive once more. Then he blocks off Khan in order to slow down the attack. But before Faze can reorganize, he seizes a gap, getting aggressive on Khan as the attack removes the utility, finding himself a freebie and falling back scot-free. Now, with time ticking down and a man disadvantage, Faze are starting to feel desperate. BDS have players Logi, Gold, top main, and down below. Faze know they need to go, so they set up Khan and Jim window, aiming to push in off the back of the Monty and try and plant inside Jim.
He's still playing below here with shotgun in hand, it's worth noting. They can't come to be plant inside of this site, they'll always be a threat. 3-day steps round for one, but Cyber, that name that we cannot take out of our mouths today, comes through and starts a bit of a comeback. 4v3 for BDS, and the clock is now starting to work against Faze.
This has been a really promising round for BDS, despite being forced back so deep into site. They've played their game plan. They've fallen away at each opportunity without taking a loss. Faze haven't been able to take utility away from them, but KDS gets himself inside. He's going to be able to put this down potentially. The cover is not there. Uses Shaiko one apiece, and BDS goes out the round.
After their success upstairs, BDS decide to go back to basement. Their roam was dismantled last round, so they don't want to push things, instead opting to bring along bunker utility and play a lot closer to site. Faze quickly take the top 2 floors, finding the space completely uncontested, and begin setting up for their execute with just over 100 seconds on the clock. They open up hatches and push players back down the staircases, prodding at the BDS defense, seeing if they can catch someone making a mistake. KDS drives a drone down blue and sees nobody is contesting the stairs. This tells him that he can get a little bit aggressive, holding this angle over the generator into church. What will he be able to find?
You had the Candelas on the Ying coming down main stairs at the same time as Handy. You got the Capital moving down blue. We've seen that kill so many times, Tim.
KDS draws first blood, securing the advantage for his team and opening things up for Faze's execute. They set up at every entry into site, with Ying Kitchen Hatch and Blitz Moto, while the rest of the players pinch from blue and bottom main. To counter this, BDS set up with 1 AKs, 1 boxes, and 2 church, being unable to play Moto or blue with the hatches open. This opens some opportunities for Faze to use their utility to create gaps, stunning the defense as the push comes through. Will it work?
45 seconds left to go, Faze. They've got everything they need here. They just need to be careful that they don't stall out and let this one slip away.
Still getting a couple of hatches opened up here as well, but for the most part, it is done. We've got the first fireball coming into blue to move. Shaiko is now back in blue, uses, I'm pretty sure, dropping smokes on towards Handy here, inside of Moto. So trying to keep him at bay and isolate out gunfights. Shaiko going in deep as well, tucking himself in and waiting. KDS marches his way down, Shaiko finds him out. 2 quick kills to BDS. Get the other side guessing, and Faze have got to find something here. It's down to a 2 versus 2. Shot in the back again. Shaiko is going off Tim. Finally finds himself down now. Users has got a clutch up big.
This could be difficult. The Blitz just having to make a choice here. Handy. Let's see if the swing is coming. Users, no!
Handy goes huge, winning an impossible 1v2. With no time left on the clock, Handy hits an impossible headshot onto Uzis, who gets caught with his pants down, pushing out Moto door. But let me be clear, while this is still a mistake out of Uzis, this is unbelievably smart out of Handy. He knows Uzis will expect him to back off and start plant, so he gambles the entire round on the defender making a misstep before the timer runs out, securing what might be the most impressive clutch I've ever seen for his team. Things are beginning to look dire for BDS as they lose another back-breaking round. Faze Clan have the lead, and having lost basement both times it's been attempted, BDS decide to try something drastic. The defense goes to bar, possibly the worst site in Siege. To be clear, this is a gambit. BDS are banking on Faze not having as practiced an attack on this site, but they're about to be shocked by just how effective Faze are. BDS set up with an upstairs extension, sending 4 above, holding crossfires similar to what you'd see with a gym defense, with seemingly just Solotov defending the site. On the surface, this might seem like a terrible idea, but in practice, it's actually rather effective as a strategy. See, almost the entire ceiling of bar can be destroyed from above, making it impossible for attackers to plant without first forcing the defense back. And if they do, well, BDS have an answer for that too. Brede is playing Echo, whose drones can be used to stall out a plant long enough for the defense to coordinate a retake. The idea here is that Faze will have to commit several members to push the upstairs extension as they attempt their plant, meaning they'll likely only have 1 or 2 players downstairs to cover. What this means is that if BDS can stall the attempt long enough, they can give themselves a local advantage in numbers down below, opening the door for a retake. How will Faze choose to approach? The round starts, and Faze begin by opening up the highway windows and con breach, forcing the defense to back up to top main and Logi. Still close enough they can retake master if needed, but safe from any immediate danger. Next, Faze taken to strip, having cleared the space on a drone. This allows Vita King to get himself just 1 room away from site, already threatening a plant. But there's just one thing missing before he can. See, Vita wants to plant here, just inside of pool. But remember, BDS still have a player covering site. Playing inside bar, Solotov can fight any plant attempt by peeking out from cover and engaging Faze. But the pressure is mounting as Faze surrounds site, and he doesn't know from where the first fights will come.
On gym door is potentially going to be open. That's going to leave an angle down through that hatch. Souls manages to find Solotov. Great start for Faze. That takes down the castle. 5 versus 4 at the halfway mark.
Solotov's having a really rough time on entry throughout this series. After the last map, he was sat at 7 and 9, and it just seems to be getting worse as the series wears on. They're getting a nice cheeky plant in here, and I don't know if they know about this. Sure enough, they're trying to retake, and the Nomad's doing all the work they need. KDS has absolutely shut this round down. Closed, locked up, offering nothing to the other side. Bride can do nothing but look on as his team are about to lose their 4th defensive round of the half.
Faze just will not be stopped at the minute. Bride just trying to get a little bit of intel, any sort of morsel that he can work on. Manages to pick up one, but Cyber is there, ever present.
Disaster strikes for BDS as Faze simply force their way into sight. Souls find Solotov through a long angle from outside, opening the door for Vita to walk through strip and plant pool. But this is completely exposed to the gym hatch. All BDS need to do is peek him from above. So why don't they? It all comes down to Faze employing an elegantly easy solution to give themselves control of Jim without needing to actually take the space. See, Faze don't need control of Jim to go for this plant. They just need to make sure BDS don't have it either. By posting KDS Jim window playing Nomad, he can set up air jabs to stop BDS from entering the room long enough for plant to go down, making it impossible for them to retake the space. Then, once bomb does go down, Faze can all back off, no longer needing to contest the vert, content to simply hold the post plant and win the round. Only 3 rounds now separate Faze from carving their names into the annals of Siege history. But it's not over yet as BDS swap to the attack, looking to start a comeback in the second half. Faze start off defending downstairs, playing a light roam on the first floor. Cyber is the lone roamer, with every entry into bar barricaded and the hatch opened up to ensure he can quickly escape should BDS choose to engage. Everything else about their defense is pretty standard, with one playing blue, another in Arsenal, Mira to lock down Church, and Agoyo for dirt. Their lineup primarily focuses on creating power positions, which they pair with traps to slow any attackers down. Speaking of which, BDS opt for a blue-focused attack. Not wanting to clear the entire map, they spot the setup towards bar and choose not to engage, opening up hatches and applying pressure towards Gen. While BDS start their setup, Cyber realizes he's being ignored and decides to try and make a play to catch a BDS player off guard. But just because he isn't engaged doesn't mean BDS aren't aware he's there. Shaiko spots him on a drone, feeding the info onto Uzis, who pushes forward and pre-fires Cyber, securing an advantage for his team. Elsewhere, Shaiko spots KDS on a different drone and calls an idea to make a play. He says, "Guys, this dude is playing super solo in blue. If I use fire to make Gen unplayable, then smoke off the head holes from AKs, I bet we could walk up from oil and take the space." This would be super powerful for BDS, since without control of blue, Faze lose access to one of the most pivotal avenues for rotating between sites. If they're successful, the only other option for the defense is to cross in front of Long Haul, where they'll be completely exposed to any attackers bottom main.
BDS something for them to build on in the round.
Don't realize about the cross, and no! Solotov's found on his way out. That's the problem with oil, Tim. Once you start walking up that corridor, you're dead to rights. If they know you're there, a C4 over the top finds one more.
Vita King swings out around the smoke, picking off Solotov, while elsewhere, Handy hits a vertical C4 to take out Likefak. This flips the round on its head, giving the advantage over to Faze as BDS scramble to come up with a new plan. They call to rotate their attack towards Moto, with 2 players dropping the hatch to push Church. They're hoping the distraction towards Moto will open a gap for Shaiko to lurk blue, but Faze just aren't the type of team to leave their opponents any gaps.
Vita King's just holding that tight angle from the door, so BDS have had to move. They've had to try and work an alternative. KDS spraying through. He knows that one has dropped Moto. He's taking a look. He can't find his man. But there's Vita King. I said from this position that he was going to hurt them, and it's Shaiko who gets cut down. Bride continues fighting. 30 seconds for BDS.
Surely they know at this point. Uzis must know about his man. Yes, they have no idea that he's there. Onto his backside he goes. Got to be careful of the fire there, my friend. Still a bit of time for this plant to go on down, but Handy is lurking, Tim. I think Bride's got an idea that he's here, and he would be right. This might be a mistake. Letting him in towards Moto. He's got himself tucked back inside the site here. In a great spot, and Uzis might just run head first into him. Bride alone in a 1v2. And it has collapsed once again.
Vita King perfectly reads the lurk out of Shaiko, covering his teammate Blue, allowing KDS to focus exclusively on Moto Door. This shows unbelievable trust between the teammates on Faze. They know KDS is in the best position out of anyone to fight the entry church, so the other players who aren't in a position to do so simply hold down the gaps in order to keep KDS alive. It's some beautiful siege, and despite a brief equalization out of BDS, Faze are able to lock down the round, bringing them one step closer to being champions. 2 rounds separate BDS from elimination, from losing in the finals of every tournament of the past year. The looks on the players' faces are telling, all of them thinking, it can't be happening again, can it? It isn't over yet, but unless BDS can start stringing together some rounds, it soon will be. For their second offense, Faze opt to take things upstairs, playing gym and bedroom with a cache extension similar in concept to that of BDS. The main difference lies in how heavily they contest. Remember, BDS brought along all sorts of utility to first fight for the space, wasting Faze's time before falling off. Faze instead opt for a much lighter extension, favoring an earlier fall in exchange for bringing along extra C4s to try and deny plant later on. The round starts, and BDS instantly start working to take cache. Last round, they played relatively slowly, so this time they want to throw in a pace change to see if they can catch someone off guard. Will it work?
But for Faze, it certainly was. And they are not making a single mistake at the minute.
They're looking like very deserving winners to meet him. Just 2 rounds stand between them and that hammer. BDS, that is their last time out they will get, unless they can recover this map and send us through to Sky.
DKFAC pushes up Red off the back of a drone from Brigade, but finds cache is already abandoned. Faze have read the pace change and give up the space, opting instead to fight elsewhere later on. Shaiko joins him Khan to hold the space, while the rest of BDS start working the site windows to set up for their execute. They're looking to move fast, but the thing is, moving fast often leaves little gaps, which clever defenders can then exploit. And Handy thinks he sees an opportunity. While Souls makes noise Jim to distract the window player, he creeps forward towards Khan, looking to see if he can catch the attackers off guard.
To not make that mistake, to not be the one to die, must be immense right now. And it will start to affect the way that they play. Right now, they're working the windows. They've got themselves secure. They know they're not going to be pushed from CCTV. BDS now need that entry kill.
One just at him and they've got no idea. I spoke about rat plays and missed thrownings earlier on. BDS might have missed out on the man tucked in, and just like that, Handy's come up, taking a big double. Does get traded out from the window, but the damage is done, Tim.
Handy picks up 2 before being traded as he tries to escape back to cover. But the damage is done. BDS are now down numbers, and the rest of the team need to try to pick up the pieces. Solotov refills the space in Khan, opening up the remainder of the wall into logistics, right where KDS is hiding. The thing is, Solotov doesn't have a clue, and with this bulletproof camera master door, KDS has all the info he needs in order to swing wide and take the fight.
Just the way that Shaiko did to them. But BDS, unprepared. They get hurt by it. 3 versus 4. Maybe not aware again. KDS is just going to firm this one. He's going to keep himself in this position. He goes for the peak. They don't know that he's there. And BDS, they keep being hurt by what they can't see, Des.
We've called about the missed thrownings throughout time and time again, Tim, but Faze will abuse every mistake.
KDS wins the fight onto Solotov before getting away completely unscathed. And in the 4v2, the rest of BDS are forced to just take fights with little else they can do. BDS have their backs against the wall. Their opponents are on match point. If they want to win this game, they need to be flawless from here on out. Otherwise, that's it. Time to lock in. For the 3rd site in their defensive rotation, Faze now go to cache and CCTV. Good news for BDS, as this is the weakest site Faze plays. But still, this is Faze we're talking about. And they're the sort of team who makes every round dangerous. CCTV is a site which sees 2 typical approaches, garage takes and master takes. Garage has the advantage of giving teams a better late round if they're able to take control of rafters, which is by no means a guarantee. While master side has a much easier early round, but often faces some challenges as teams transition to an execute. This is because planting on a master side attack means attempting to get bomb down here, where attackers are really exposed to being shot or C4'd. Furthermore, attempts to push deeper are hampered by the choke point's cache breach and cache door. Here, attackers have to fight top red, green box, green door, and rafters as they walk into sight, all while defenders can train their weapons on just a single point of entry. The round starts, and BDS use the Monty to take quick control of Master, setting up main stairs flanks before working to open up sight, and good thing too. Cyber is lurking below, looking for any opportunity to flank the BDS attack, putting a nail in the game for good. His team is telling him, hey, these guys are already in con, so Cyber decides to make a play. The thing is, he's worried BDS will be watching flank, so instead of trying to walk up main stairs, he goes below. He wants to toss a C4 up the hatch to catch an attacker off guard as they're focused on the site. Will BDS react in time?
Just stacked up before them, and all this does is give time for Cyber to start his move. Working his way underneath, actually, Tim. He can play denial from down here, or a C4 through the hatch. Pick away at the most unfortunate time. Shaiko shooting it out right in front of his face.
Shaiko effortlessly shoots the C4 out of the air, while elsewhere, BDS continue to ramp up the pressure. They open cash wall and main breach, controlling angles through the entire site, but Faze aren't giving them any fights. They know BDS have to walk into their crossfires in order to progress, and all they have to do is sit still and wait for the attack to engage. But BDS still have something up their sleeve. Initiator utility. Grim and Capitao both have gadgets which support the offense taking fights. By shooting fire for rafters and bees for top red, BDS can negate the crossfire, engaging only with the players pinged by the bees top red, giving them a major advantage in the fights.
To just push back up to side, to be an extra gun. BDS, now is the time. They have to start thinking about how they push forward. Vita King is going to take some damage there. BDS haven't got themselves that kill yet, Des. They haven't got themselves that advantage, but there it is. Solotov picks up Cyber. There's another one from Solotov. 5 versus 3, but the fight back comes from Faze as Vita King manages to find one. 30 seconds, and it looks like BDS will keep fighting for one more round.
It's only souls left, and they've got a 3 versus 1, Tim. Surely you can't let this one go against you. 3 days in, plan going down, finds a down. Be so careful here, BDS. Souls clutched out in the semi-final back in Sweden to send them into a grand final win the next day. Surely he can't be allowed to do it here. A Monty staring at his face, and Solotov, a big round from him.
A massive round out of Solotov as he pushes in and picks up 4, putting the team on his back and keeping them in it for at least one more round. BDS have won an attack, but things are still looking bleak. They've only managed to win Faze's weakest site, and now they have to attack their strongest. But they have no other choice, and they need to be successful if they want the comeback to be on. Faze defend downstairs with a slightly different setup. No upstairs extension, instead opting to play a full bunker defense with C4s and Goyos to deny plant. In line with this, they bring along the Bandit, an operator who specializes in keeping reinforced walls closed. The idea here is to Bandit trick the church triple, denying BDS opening it up from bottom main. If BDS decide to try a church take, this could be the perfect read to end the round before it's even begun. Otherwise, Faze set up in relatively default anchor positions. Church, AKs, dirt, and oil pits? Oh! KDS is hiding in oil, with the door barricaded behind him. This is an aggressive rat spot, and if he goes uncleared, it could spell disaster for BDS. And look at this. As the round starts, BDS start their take towards garage and stock, right where KDS could find the most possible impact. This may be about to get messy.
They're going to be the decision makers. Wherever they drop their gadgetry down is where all the action's going to happen.
That's going to be the blue hatch open. So they can start thinking about moving players now. That's going to be the next job, but look at this. KDS is getting aggressive, he's stuck. They're going to find the opener, Solotov again. 3 kills in the last round, and the entry in this one.
Continuing his hot streak from last round, Solotov sees the barricade and reads things perfectly. He sends a drone down to check his hunch before shooting open the barricade, leaving KDS trapped, unable to escape. Advantage secured, and the round is still far from over, but BDS are looking far better. They open things up all over the map, creating tons of phantom pressure for the remainder of Faze. Explosions go off dirt, kitchen, moto, and blue, leaving the defense scrambling to try and figure out where the actual attack will come from. And in the chaos, Liquefact sneaks down main to see if he can find himself an opening.
1 minute 20 left to go. BDS continuing their work here, trying to soften up the side. Liquefact, he softens up Faze with a kill onto Vita King. That's the Azami taken down. 5 versus 3.
Surely not, Tim. Surely BDS don't claw this back from the jaws of defeat. Still 2 more rounds after this one to go, and they've got to get this one over the line first. Cyber, Handy, Souls. 3 players you trust in a situation like this to get the job done. But for now, they're all backed inside Church. Cyber and Handy both in there. Time to start saying some prayers that you can get this done here and now.
Soul starts the fight back, but Usus is there for the trade. Surely this is another BDS round. 3 versus 2 though, as Handy manages to find one. Diffuser's going down. Breedy likely to stick this, and will. The cover is there. BDS surely fight back. Cyber has tried to retake above, but it won't be enough.
Try his very best. There's a shield bearing down on you, and 2 of the players that are hungry for this one, Tim. That's 2 rounds in a row.
BDS react off his kill, dropping blue while Faze focuses on trying to find a refrag. They trade out and stick a plant, leaving just Cyber alone upstairs, facing an impossible retake. BDS are bringing it back, but Faze are still only 1 round away from winning it all. They've been here before, last year, losing 6 rounds in a row and the championship. It surely can't be happening again, can it? For their next attempt to close things out, Faze go back to gym and bedroom. Their setup is the same as last time, not wanting to change things up from what has already been successful. For their part, BDS want to attempt another attack. Last time, they went for a fast CC over, which was shut down by Faze's aggressive con push. This round, they're going to switch things up, slowing down their attack to try and strangle Faze out. The round starts, and BDS begin by approaching the site from Jacuzzi side. They open barricades and make noise before encountering this mirror window. What's this about? Why would Faze put a mirror window on an outside wall? Well, the idea here is purely to inconvenience BDS. By having the mirror window on the wall, BDS are forced to place their thermite charge to the side or above the mirror, making the breach significantly worse for the attack and causing potential problems during their execute. Before that though, BDS opens CC and con, forcing Faze to fall back or risk being cut off. This allows Shaiko to push in and take the space, while his team works to surround and choke out the rest of the site. The remainder of Faze set up with 2 Logi, 1 gym, 1 bathroom, and 1 below. This gives them the opportunity to deny plant from downstairs with a C4, while also threatening a retake from Logi during the execute. By giving up space, they keep themselves alive, waiting for a more opportunistic moment. But as BDS start to open up Jacuzzi, there's one player who is notably not playing safe. Cyber is tucked in behind the gym equipment, playing in an aggressive spot where he can challenge the site windows. Cyber is the exact sort of player for this position. Confident and aggressive, he's great at taking fights which can catch attackers off guard. But BDS have brought along one operator who can gather info without ever risking his life. Usus is playing Blackbeard, and he's about to be the one who checks Jim. Cyber shouldn't stand a chance in this fight.
They want to get that Blackbeard challenge, and they want to start bullying Faze here. But where are the kills going to go? The first couple will be critical, and Cyber finds a beauty of a headshot. He flips 180 and looks to challenge onto Jacuzzi breach.
Cyber hits a miracle shot onto Usus, giving his team the advantage before escaping by dropping the hatch. And off his contact, the rest of Faze begin to aggress. They know Shaiko is alone in con, so as BDS are distracted by the bandit and Jim, KDS and Vita King push forward, looking to pinch the French superstar. With his team already at a disadvantage, Shaiko needs to win this fight.
And looks to challenge onto Jacuzzi breach. BDS, it's now or never. You've got to start pushing. They find one. Shaiko onto Vita King. Can he find another? 45 seconds. BDS, you have to get in there and make it happen.
Tucked in on the corner, KDS down to a slither of HP. They've got the breach to, but they can't make moves. Shaiko starts on it.
Massive work out of Shaiko as he manages to pick up 2 before being traded off. He's given his team a chance, and as he dies, BDS have a ton of info on the remainder of Faze. See, BDS know KDS is swinging Logi, Handy is playing main, and Cyber was just down below, having not yet come back from dropping the hatch. They have an opportunity to get inside, and if they can take site, they may just have a chance at winning the round. Let's hope they didn't mess up that breach.
Starts on it, a second on site. He loses out to KDS, but BDS, with Leaky Fat going down, it's looking dangerous.
This could be the end. Such low health across Faze. 3 versus 2 Des. 20 seconds for the attackers to rescue themselves.
Main stairs looks like a real threat as well. Handy in position. Diffuser's going down. This cover has got to be flawless. But Brede comes off. He's going for the kills, Tim. They've found one, but now they've got to re-stick, and Cyber's in a spot to do a bit of damage here. Trying to bait out once again. Solotov has to win this gunfight. It's got to get Cyber. They're waiting. Solotov's down. Brede's off. He's also down.
gentlemen, your Six Invitational 2025 World Champions, it's Faze!